is April 1st. You know what that means. It's Lolicon Pride Month. About damn time, honestly. And while I don't necessarily have anything super prepared, I can at least tell you that this episode does have a lolly focus in it. So, you're welcome on that front. But when it comes down to it, though, we're going to be doing the Kukatsu stories for today. And really, I'm going to stop calling it Kukatsu stories, just call it JSX4 because that's what the name of the damn show is. Why I might keep calling it by a whole other name, I don't know. But when it comes down to it, that's what we're going to be mainly focusing on. Also, going to straight up let you know that this month is going to be the month of me trying to bust my ass really to the best of my ability. And the reason why is, a lot of reasons. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to just be basically doing a lot of shorts this month. Mainly because also, I've kind of also seen that shorts can be really good and kind of get a lot of people in here faster. So that's also a reason why we're going to be doing that. But when it comes down to it though, just expect a lot of shorts, a lot of content, and just a lot of things overall on the channel because we just trying to make it, honestly. Because right now, your boy only has a laptop and a dream and God. Because other than that, I have nothing else to really, get this channel over and away. But we'll hopefully have something to see and to show off by the time this month is essentially over with when it goes down to it. But with all that being said though, let's actually get into the story because honestly this is a long one and I didn't really want to drop it off at any point in the story where it's going to be trash or it didn't feel like it's a real ender. So this is why also it took a long time to cook it while there was no anime episode like last month as well. So, keep that in mind because I try to at least get one episode out every month. Last month was just not it because I had to cook a little bit more. So basically Act 1 starts off with Shitoya taking a long conversation with Jay after he woke up, and essentially what you're seeing now is this conversation in intervals. So basically you're seeing like, oh, this part of the conversation and that part of the conversation because it's already happened. And so Shitoya's like, it's hard for me to not want her dead, but I'll listen to you for now. And so time skips kind of happen, and so she's like, 9 people died before you, and it was because the spirit gave an offer they couldn't refuse. And so basically the conversation continues, and she tells you like, your usage of the multiversal essence is impressive, but it's too reckless. You should refrain from using that to spirit in you. It's known to take more than it gives. Plus, you might turn into her. And so as time skips again, but this time with Blue's mom, and essentially she's like, what did you do to my daughter? Who do you think you are? And essentially, basically, finally goes into the present where Jay is actually taking a shower right now. And is kind of just thinking about all this type of stuff while he was just in that unconscious state. I mean, how would you feel you guys, put all this shit on you after 2 weeks of not knowing anything? So this kind of feels a bit off. So Jay's just like, at this point, he's like, some world this turned out to be. Only for his lovely wife, Konako, to pat him on the back. And Konako's just like, it doesn't take that long to shower. And he's just like, I'm sorry, I forgot. And so essentially what happens is Konako just like, tell me what's wrong. You haven't been acting like yourself since we came home. You need to know that no matter what happens, you can always rely on me. And so he doesn't really say anything, but Konako's just like, come on, let's get in the bath now. And so as they're getting in the damn bath though, Jay's still feeling pretty shitty about the situation and pretty much silent for a while, honestly, not really wanting to say anything. I know how you feel, like the weight of the world is on your head right now. But that's why I insist that you let me bear it too. And so Konako was getting kind of pissed at this because he was not saying anything at all. And so she was getting pretty much tired of it. And so she got on top of this, man. Whoa. And essentially started to really tell how she feels about everything right now. You had me worried sick, you dumbass. I know you feel pressure to do everything on your own. That's why you stopped simping the way you did. But it scares me every time you do that. That's why I'm telling you that you have me. I don't want to see you get locked in a position where you have no options but the one that caused you pain. And so Jay just like finally saying something. He's like, Konako. And so she's just like, that's why I told you, Kari, that we won't let despair or purity ruin your happiness. What kind of wife, what kind of person would I be if I didn't help save someone who has done nothing but help save others? You may have that power, but it's not just up to you. You're not alone in this. So from now on, we carry all our problems together. Okay? And so Jay just like, kind of understanding her a bit more where she's kind of come from. And so Konako just like, as your first wife, I will make you happy, and we will protect each other. Now come on. It's been 2 weeks. So forget about the pain and stress and focus on me. And so basically, Konako knew what to do. She knew how to handle that situation, giving him the good at the same time, and they just went kind of all out on it. Honestly, not necessarily skipping a damn beat. He had 2 weeks backed up of load. You best damn believe he was gonna give it all to her. Honestly, and so once that session is essentially, or at least the first part it was over, essentially Konako was just panting hard as hell, and she was like, "I told you, I'm with you. Forever and always. Now let's keep going. You're gonna give me all 2 weeks of milk." And so yeah, they just basically went at it like they were absolute animals. Well, technically, Jace a fox and Konako's a cat, so technically they kind of are animals in a way. So I guess that kind of makes a whole bunch of sense. But anyway, we go into the next act where we basically see, Konako and Jay and Yukari and also Symphony in in the room together, trying to talk about what's the next plan and what we gotta do. And so Konako just like, "Good morning, everyone. Now Yukari, I know we are all still shifting everyone around, but what's the stats for moving people from the school to other areas?" And Jay was surprised by this. He was like, "You're moving people from the school? Since when?" And so Konako just like, "Since he was out of it, I gave it some thought. But if we are going to continue this fight against despair, it's best to move everyone into different areas." And so Yukari just like, "There is a lot of people who can't fend for themselves, so we divided people with those who can in those areas as well. There are 4 areas that people can stay. Here, the school, the inner city, a village way out of town, and Yaso Inaba. With that, powerful people will be area enforcers. For example, Tatsumaki with Team Ruby will live in the inner city." And she's like, "I suppose it can get really crowded around here. Still, wish nobody had to move." And so Konako's just like, "Don't feel too sad. Lamine and some of the dang Rampacast is around here, so at least they will stay. This process is going well, at least. Oh, this is so stressful." And so Symphony finally started talking, and she's just like, "Well, if you're that stressed, I got a suggestion." And so Konako's just like, "What would that be?" And so Symphony's just like, "A well-earned beach vacay." And so Yukari just like, "Are you sure that's a good idea considering how, erratic things have been?" And so Symphony just like, "Well, you know what they say about not trying. Besides, after going through things non-stop, don't you think we should all take a break from everything while we have the chance?" And Jay just like, "I agree with the idea, but what if the spirit tries to attack us mid-vacation?" And so Symphony just like, "Then we'll send it back to hell from whence it came. Besides, are you gonna let the spirit ruin all the chances of seeing us in bikinis? Let alone the beach sex?" And so Jay just to himself is like, she does have a point. Alright, let's do this thing. Obviously, my effort was immediately like, yeah, beach sex. Sounds like a great time. And so Konako just like, "Don't you think about effing other girls while I'm at the beach. Otherwise, when we smash watermelons, it'll be your balls." I'm like, "Ha, you're just joking, right, baby? Please be joking. Please?" And so Yukari just like, "The beach, huh? Always wanted to go to one. Perfect chance to show off my perfect idol body in the sand." And so Symphony already just got devious ideas in the brain. And so she's just like, "I'm just gonna grind on Jay and make Konako so jealous." So yes, Symphony is on demon time. And with that happy note, basically the beach idea is being set to be ready to go for everybody to kind of join in on. So when it comes down to it, we get to the next act where we try to get this whole planning thing going, but we also gotta remember what happened recently with the whole thing with Shitoya, which is that, Miss Saratame is still kind of effed up right now. So when it comes down to it, kind of leaves people out of not being able to join this vacation. And so while everybody was basically getting ready for it, Aoki didn't want to go anywhere with, Saratame being in the States. And so Aoki just basically sitting there just watching her, honestly. And so Jay just like, "Shouldn't you be worried about your own aches and pains?" And so Aoki just like, "Those are nothing compared to what she's been through." And so Jay's just like, Everyone has basically agreed to go to the beach. Even Blue when she woke up and her mom is going. And so Aoki's just like, then you guys have fun. I'm gonna watch over her. After what she tell you did to her. If she thinks she'll touch her again, I'll stop her with everything I have. And so Jay's just like, I understand. And even I won't stand for it. Which is why I'll be having Sage to keep eyes on her during our trip. And so Aoki's just like, good. Still, I'm not leaving her side. And so Jay was really thinking about this whole thing. He was like, I honestly don't blame her for feeling this way. She spent so much time with her after all. Now that I think about it, they feel kind of similar to each other. And so that's when Jay kind of noticed the eye patch on Saratome's eye, and when he kind of realized that Aoki wears the eye patch too, and they're both in the same position. Also taking note of the hair as well, that it's black but with a little bit of silver touch to it. And so Aoki's hair is also black with a little bit of silver touch to it. And he's kind of putting two and two together and thinking, could she have? And so Aoki's just like, you say something? And Jay's just like, nothing. Just thinking it's a shame she won't be able to join us. And as he said that shit, Kiyoshi briefly regained consciousness. And she just basically told Aoki to be like, go with them. And so Aoki was like, Miss Saratome! Thank goodness you're okay. But I can't go. Not what she told you around in you and your condition. And so she's like, go. And then she passes out again because she's obviously still trying to, heal up. And so Aoki was just crying about this whole thing because obviously she don't want to see her. She really don't want to see her mentor, the person that she really looks up to, hurt like that. And so when it comes down to it, Jay's just like, I'll have Sage to bring Atari to protect her too. And so Aoki doesn't say anything, but then Jay's like, Aoki, if you still want to stay. And so she's like, I'll go. I just hope she'll be alright. So ultimately, Aoki and everybody decides to go to the damn beach and kind of have a good ass time, which is how we get into the next act. Because everyone finally made their way to the beach and was greeted with the shimmering warm waters and the sand. Ooh, I'm adding some spicy ass words into this. So when it comes down to it, simply just like the sands, the water, the salty air. Now, this is what I've been looking forward to. Don't you guys agree? Exactly the less stressful environment I needed. Looking thick as hell. Jeez. Anyway, when it comes down to it, Jay's just like, not gonna lie, it's been a long time since I've been to a beach. And so you end up seeing, Shoko as well with Blue on the side kind of conversating. And they just like, I never been to any beach before. So I'll grace the sands with my toned body. And so Blue just like, I remember coming to one when I was younger. And so Aoki just still kind of getting her mind back in order, trying to not worry about Saratome at the same time, all this. And she's just like, no, I need to just try to relax here. Things gotta be okay. I've done quite a lot of beach photo shoots, but it's nice being on a real beach for once. And so Shion's just like, is that so? And so Yukari just like, is everything alright, Shion? And Shion's just like, I'm fine. And so Yukari already starting to suspect Shion being a bit off. And so Yukari just like, if you need to talk, I can listen to you if you want. And so Shion just like, there is no need. And so anyway, we get back to Symphony and she's just like, anyway, since we're here, I got an idea. How about we race across the beach before we get wet up? And so essentially Jay's just like, oh Symphony, you poor dearest. You do know I raced against and kept up with Madaka, right? Y'all ass finna be grass. And so Konoko's just like, if you guys really are about to do that, then count me out. And so Symphony just like, and here I die as his first wife, you'd show us how it's done. And so Konoko just like, I can prove it anytime I want. I can suck his dick right now to display dominance, but I don't need to. And so Symphony's just like, oh well, it is what it is. And so she turns her head to Saki because she's also here. And so she's like, yo, Saki, hurry up. We finna burn rubber on these sands. And so Saki's just like, yeah, I'm coming. And so Shizuka, obviously, again, Blue's mom, and she's like, tell me, do you think Blue will come back to me? And so Saki's just like, that depends on her entirely. Before she could go back to you, she needs to understand what she needs herself. And so, yeah, basically laying down being a better parent than honestly her actual parent, which is crazy. Anyway, we end up getting to the actual beach racing thing that you've seen in the edit of. If you haven't seen the edit of, go check it out because I uploaded that shit and that was kind of fire when I uploaded that shit. But when it comes down to it, Symphony just like, alright, the goal of the race is simple. Shion is standing over there, and whoever reaches her first obviously wins. Do whatever you gotta do to reach her. Yukari, set us off. And so she's like, alright, good luck you guys. On your marks, get set, go! And so the race basically started off with Symphony using her biologic powers to straighten her leg and boost her speed, honestly. Adding them damn muscles and all that nonsense that she can do to her leg to make her run a bit faster. And so Symphony's just like, ha! Later, suckers! And so basically, as she thinking she cooking, nah, Saki came through and immediately flew past her ass because why not? It was easy, because Saki can also fly. Yes, that's the thing that she can do. And when it comes down to it, Saki's just like, your legs mean nothing when I can just fly. And so Jay was just basically taking his time, stretching his arm, because he knew he was about to cook, turn into his purified state and just smile, because he's like, I'm about to roast all you hoes. And so essentially, Jay immediately caught up with Saki like it was nothing. I may not be the same Jay from your world, but for some reason I can't help but to feel like this is like old time. And Saki was just like, old times as in I beat your ass in another race? And so then suddenly gravity was suspended for them as they were talking shit to each other. And so Aoki was like, less talking, more kicking to both of your asses. And so essentially Aoki ran a little distance until Shoko jumped above her and she was like, you're not going anywhere. And she struck the damn ground with an unbelievable amount of force, which threw Aoki's movement off really badly. And so essentially she fell to the ground and Shoko ran past her. And so Shoko was like, I can do this! I can really win this! I got this in the bag! And as she said that, as soon as she said that, Yukari started flying by her horizontally with a smug ass expression. And so Shoko's just like, how the hell? And so Yukari's just like, magic. And so she flew past her like it ain't nothing, causing her other sister to be in the lead. And so Yukari just like, all I gotta do now is ride the wind, and so Blue just come out of nowhere just like, no! And so she basically jumped over her using her reject powers, because obviously reject can also push people back, so why not help her push her up and over her opponents. So basically she used her power of reject to propel herself over Yukari, which led the poor mage looking confused as all hell when she caught up to her so damn fast. And so obviously, look at Blue, like, you really want to deal with this shit? Absolutely not. And so Yukari just looking at her like, oh hell no. And so Shizuka just basically like, Blue? Since when could you... Oh, please be careful. And so basically, Blue said reject again, and which negated Yukari's magic, and she fell to the ground. And so Yukari is getting mad as all hell. And she's just like, oh, what the I had it! That's so irritating, damn it! And so essentially, Jay and Saki ran past Yukari and essentially ran faster than they ever have before. And so essentially they are both screaming at the top of their lungs trying to beat this bitch in a race. And so essentially Jay's just like, this is my win! And so Saki's like hell it is! And so essentially you see them actually using their powers and going absolutely crazy. Jay was using, for some reason, his powers is just shifting over to less of light and more into lightning area, and which you also see Saki using her power of fire a little bit to get herself a bit of a boost in the edge over this damn whole race, essentially. To get in the edge over him, really, because out of anybody, Jay is her real opponent. So with all Blue's heart, she wanted to win and scream reject as hard as she could, which shot her ass just as far as Saki and Jay was moving. And essentially Shion was kind of frightened at how fast they were moving because they thought they was going to crash into her. And so the finish line was basically within reach. And Blue basically was just over Jay and Saki at this point, as you can see, and everyone kind of fell past Shion. And Blue was effing tired. But Shion basically walked over to Blue and just looked at her eyes. And she was just panting hard as hell. And Blue was just like, huh? And so Shion was just like, you win. And so Blue just like, yay. And then she passes out. But hey, let's be honest, Blue was cooking in this damn race. Jay and Saki too, but Blue really was the one that cooked it, was the winner of this damn bitch. So obviously Blue won a second competition in this damn world. Holy shit. Shizuka was watching this and she was like, she gave me a heart attack. I never realized how much heart and passion she had. You really are something, Blue. And so after that whole race, everyone basically started to relax, you know. Jay splashing Saki and Kaneko at the same time in the damn water, looking real nice. Shizuka taking a nice tanning session, being naked as all hell with them damn piercings that she got, show on YouTube. But honestly, if you see it on Twitter, you can at least, you know, look at it that way. And then also, for some reason, Shion and Yukari decided to just bury the shit out of Shoko in the damn ground, and she looking mad as all hell, which is a nice ass time. Also, you had a scene where Aoki and Symphony and Blue were also having fun in the water. So again, everyone was basically having a nice ass time. And as everyone was having their fun, the day was coming to an end, and everyone was basically just getting ready to leave back to the hotel. But Shion stood motionless, as if she was like stuck in a trance or something. And so she's just like, And so Yukari just like, it's time to head back. It won't be our last time looking at the ocean. Or are you still thinking about stuff? And so Shion just like, I told you, I'm fine. And so Yukari is already just having enough of it. She's like, bullshit. I know when people are hiding things. I told you I'll listen to you if you got something to say. You may still not realize it, but you aren't alone anymore. Just like Jay, you shouldn't have to hold whatever this is to yourself. And so Shion just like, do you truly think you can understand me? What I am? And so Yukari just like, currently, no, but given anyone enough time, sure they can. And so Yukari just like, look, it's obvious you don't want to tell me anything, but at least tell Jay. If anyone can accept and understand you for whatever you are or not, I believe in him. And so Shion just like, could you pass along a message to him? I want to tell him something right here tonight. And so Yukari just like, huh? And so we don't get any more, information on that, but it's coming very much soon. So essentially, we end up seeing Jay and Kaneko finally going back to the hotel, and they just kind of taking in the damn day that they just had, essentially. And so Jay just kind of all like, Jay's just like, man, not gonna lie, it's been a long time since I had that much fun. I've been wanting to run again like that for a long ass time. And so Kaneko just like, I could tell. Plus, getting in the water like that was refreshing too. And so Jay just like, though I wish your outfit was a bit transparent when the water got on you. And so Kaneko's just like, if you want me naked that bad, wait till you see what I do for you tonight. And so Kaneko getting sexy out here, hold up. So when it comes out to it, two people came behind him. And Lamine was here, and she was like, ought to sneak him away for yourself, Kaneko. And so Jay turned around, and so both of them turned around, and so Kaneko was just like, huh? Lamine? What are you doing here? And who is... And Jay immediately freaks out because it's someone else that he wanted to see for a long time. He's just like, Farina? And so basically Lamine just like, I heard you guys were planning a beach trip, and that I should join you when I could. Plus, with all the moving around to different locations going on, I ran into Farina. And so Farina just like, hello, one and all. The traveler, I mean Lamine, was telling me all about you. It's quite the honor to meet you, Monsieur Jay. And so Jay just like, it's an honor to meet you too, Farina. And so he whispers to Kaneko just like, Kaneko, she called me a Monsieur. I swear, Jay is such a child, honestly. And so Kaneko just like, yeah, I heard. Better than master, huh? And so Jay just like, Kaneko, it's not like that. Just keep your head screwed tight. Obviously, Yukari is behind them. And so she's like, guess this is a better time than any. And so Jay just basically runs up to Farina, just excited like a damn puppy, honestly. And he just asking a shitload of questions. So he's like, so Farina, what was it like in Fontaine? What was your favorite thing to do as an Archon? What's your bus size? Does your vision still work? And obviously, Farina just kind of taken aback by all this shit. She's like, And so Lamine's just like, better question. can you not scare her? And so Jay's just like, oh, sorry, I just got excited, but in all seriousness, how come Farina is here? And so Lamine just like, well, that hole in the sky brought over a lot of people. Farina was also brought here. Actually, Farina and I weren't the only ones coming tomorrow. There's actually a lot of other people that plan to come to the beach too. And so Jay's just like, how many people? And so Lamine just starts listing off people, saying like, Team Ruby, Toko, Tanya, and a lot of other people just throughout the week is coming. And while Jay is basically talking to Lamine and Farina, Koneko is also talking to Yukari at the same time, and Koneko just like, she's been like that all day. And so Yukari just like, yeah, and more than anything right now, she needs Jay to hear her out. And so Koneko just like, okay, I'll tell him right away. And so basically we get into the competition with Lamine and Jay and Farina, and Lamine just like, relax, I don't think Tanya is angry at you still. No, it wouldn't surprise me if she tried something. And so Lamine just like, anyway, we'll see you tomorrow, so you and Koneko have fun, okay? And so Farina's just like, see you tomorrow, Jay. And Jay just like, okay, see you all tomorrow. And so Koneko just goes up to Jay just like, Jay, we need to talk. It's about Shion. She really sounds like she's been going through something and really needs you. And so Jay's just like, what happened? And so she's like, I don't know. But she's waiting at the beach right now. Want me to go with you? And Jay's like, nah, it's probably best if I do it alone. And obviously Koneko don't want to necessarily let him go alone because of what they talked about in the beginning of this episode. But she's like, fine. But if you're not back soon. And so Jay's just like, we'll be okay. Just get ready for tonight. And so Jay just basically heads off to the damn beach area. And so essentially, we end up seeing Shion just standing there, looking at the sky, looking at the moon essentially. And so she just waits there silently until Jay calls her by her name. And so she looks back. And so Shion starts to actually tell us what's going on. And so she's like, I never wanted to concern myself with the past once you found me. I wanted to know and understand purity because all I've ever seen is despair. I believe I understand what my life is now. What I really am. And so Jay's like, Shion? And so Shion just like, Shion isn't what I am. In truth, the reason why I was born, why I was created, was to be a sacrifice for everyone and everything. To restore the balance to both light and dark. The goddess of dark, Nyx, is who I am born from. To clean the mistakes of beings higher than myself. That's my purpose of being. And so Jay's just hella confused because obviously he wasn't, awake when this happened. And he was just like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And so she was just like, I am Nyx's reincarnated vessel. The reason I am here is to serve her purpose. It must be the reason why I live for all this time, so her plan can be put in motion when the time comes. And so Jay hearing all this, and not even knowing if it's true, he just already just like, I don't accept that. That's not who you are completely. There is more to this. Even if you were born with a purpose, that doesn't mean this is it. And so Shion looks at him silently, and Nyx from the inner side of Shion's body, she finally starts speaking, and she's just like, it seems appearances are in order. And so a fog starts to come over Shion, and just starts scoring wildly. And Jay's just like, this force. And so immediately, as, all this fog and darkness started to come over her, this giant ass spike of darkness just starts growing crazy, and this explodes all around Shion and just covers her. And Jay just had to shield himself from this because it's a darkness like he's never seen before. And so when it comes down to it, the darkness went away, but behind Shion was a person he never seen before. And so it was indeed Nyx, but again, we never seen him until now. And so Nyx is just like, it is as she said, she is one's own creation, which sole purpose is to restore balance should the light fail, as it has done so 9 other times. And so Jay just like, you gotta be Nyx. I'm getting really tired of her being screwing up and then having someone else to fix it routine. Shion may have been made by you. but she has much more to live than to clean up the mess of whoever the hell screwed up. And so Nyx just says, walk for it, Shion. And so essentially, Nyx just like, you gave her a name. And so Jay's just like, yeah, let me guess, there was no reason to name her since you just wanted her to die. And so Nyx was like, if that's what you think, you're missing the bigger picture. And Jay's like what? And so Nyx just says, one would never have created her if it wasn't for the clash between light and dark. Allow one to tell you how exactly despair came to be. Oneself and the lights was granted free will before all of creation. Our job was to strike a true balance between light and dark in the multiverse by our young overseer. In the beginning, we served our purpose easily. However, as many years passed, the light grew empathetic over the creation of life and questioned how balance can be achieved. We thought time and time again on a perfect balance, but no matter how many times we tried, there will always be lies that are unfair than others. As mortals lived, the light saw their pain and struggles and attempted to give more light to the verse to ease their pain. And one doing what one must had to stop her. It is not our place to judge who needs what, but she didn't listen. This imbalance sowed despair. To cleanse the verse, the light created her union, the guardians of despair, and I, Shion, to correct what has happened. Our overseer, on the other hand, left and removed the free will from us and gave it to the people who lived in the multiverse. We do now as she commands. So Jay just like, the guardians? That's why they were created? I mean, I knew, but still. Where's this overseer now? And so Nyx is like, not sure. She is an elusive being, though not as powerful since she separated free will from us. And Jay was kind of keeping quiet. And so Nyx was just like, I'm sure you're aware of the Guardian's task was. But for one's own aim, one created Shion to completely eradicate despair from the verse. By locking the concept of despair into her, the being can be slain with enough power. Spirits can only be killed via a physical body and powerful energies at play. She lived her life in that village to get used to the despair around her, so she could accept her duties easily and without regret. After so many failures Purity had, one did not expect you to find her and shape her with your own empathy. And so Jay just like, that's all her life meant to you? And so Nyx was just like, it's because one values life that one made this decision. Light and dark are opposing forces, while despair grew into a new force equal to both. Balance must be kept no matter what. And Jay's just like, I get that, but why her? And Nyx is like, no one else could do it. One created her specifically because there is no being in existence that has free will that can. And so Jay's just like, then what is the point of me? Why did I awaken to these powers? Or even meet her for that matter? And so Nyx had nothing to say. And so Jay's just like, you don't value life at all. You don't care about how she feels. When I met her, she had a will of her own. Her past was filled with pain and she got her revenge on those people that abused her. I wanted to understand her too, and keep her safe from stuff like this. If she was your puppet, she could have let me die by symphony, yet she saved my life. Your problem is that you created someone after you, and deep down, she woke up and wanted to live in a way you wish you could. If you wanted, you should have took her free will and do what you had to do. But you didn't, and I think I know why. You never knew how to live. Shion has a chance to make a choice, to decide however she wants to live. And I believe you let her keep her will because you didn't want to lose it like you did yours. Being forced down a path is the same as being judged by light and dark. And you aren't supposed to do that. And so Jay held Shion close, hugging her, and he was like, even if we can only go down two paths, it's on us to live how we can, and move forward. If it wasn't, then there would be no point in us thinking for ourselves. We are the choices we make, and stripping us of that would be true despair. Right now, I can feel every part of Shion's being hating every moment of this. You made her, but it's still her life. And if you think it's right for you to take away something you all given her, then I'll protect her from all of you. You probably are stronger than anyone in this world, and you could kill me if you want. But I refuse to die without trying to stop you from controlling her. And so Nyx is just like, is this how you truly feel? Is this not manipulation? Or do you truly love Shion? And so Jay's just like, I do care for her for a great deal. And so Nyx just like, and if she chose to be a sacrifice? And Jay's just like, I'll hate it. But I won't stop her as long as it's truly what she wants to do. As you are nothing more than a fleeting candle in the cold wind compared to one, light, or despair. Will you truly fight despair? And so Jay just like, if it keep being the ass it is, then yeah. If I'm weak, I'll still carry on if I need to. And so Nyx just like, then one will challenge you here and now. The very concept of darkness against the purity of your own light. This will be the test of your will and Shion's. If you manage to even show me a fraction of your will, one will give Shion to you. Let her use my powers as needed, give you a portion of my own power and abilities, and give you one's own body for your uses when you are ready. Fail, and you both lose your wills to live. And Jay's just like, will you keep your word? And Nyx's like, of course. This is the last glimmer of my will. My choice. And so Jay's just like, Kaneko, forgive me. Fine, then I set the terms. And so Nyx's like, very well. Let's begin. And so Jay and Nyx was about to throw hands in a mystical ass way. And so Jay transformed into his purified state while Nyx was already casting off her own damn dark aura. And Jay just held Shion close to her as they began charging their auras as well. And so he basically was just going at max output. All the lightning, all the light, all the crazy ass mystical powers that he got. All that shit going ham as much as possible. And Nyx just being silent and just recharge her powers back up. And as you can see, they both are just wildly going at each other. Jay was honestly struggling at this point when it comes down to it. Because he was not expecting just how powerful Nyx really was. And so Nyx just like, just as one said, you are nothing more than a fleeting candle. And so she basically just forced Jay out of his purified state and covered the entire area with darkness and just banished the world around them. And Jay just kind of not in the best of positions right now. And so Nyx is just like, you question one's will. So now one wants to know what is in your own hearts. It is your choice, but fail, and prepare to be the 10th person to fail. And so Shion's breathing starts to get really sporadic, and her will was just starting to get removed from her as well as Jay's. And so the negative side of Jay was starting to take over. And so Jay's just like, no, I won't be manipulated by this despair. And Nyx just like, everyone has a dark side. It is a natural state of being. And so Jay's just like, it may be a part of me, but I won't fail to this. I won't let you take any of this away from me! The light came back, and then it grew even brighter and brighter, and it even overcame a bit of Nyx's own darkness. And so Nyx was kind of freaking out. She was just like, he actually... And so Jay was like, I don't know why this power chose me. I don't know why I'm even here right now. But one thing is certain, Nyx. If despair, you, light, and even that overseer tries to take any of this away from me, I'll fight it with everything I got to keep it. Whether it ends up good or bad, that's my choice. And so Nyx was stunned about this, about his conviction, honestly. Look at her, sweating hard as hell. But when it comes down to it, Nyx ultimately smiled, because she was like, what a selfish choice. But maybe there is hope for the verse yet. I yield to you. Keep us both safe, Jay. As long as you stay true to yourself. Maybe you can be the breakthrough we've been hoping for. You and your will. And as she kind of says that, Nyx kind of returns back into Shion. And so basically the whole beach side kind of returns as well. And everything kind of went back to normal. Outside the fact that there is a lone white figure basically watching this whole thing go down. And so Jay's just like, Shion, you okay? And so Shion wakes up and she's just like, Jay, I'm alright. What happened? And so Jay's just like, you're safe now. Now you can choose how to live for yourself. Nyx won't be controlling your life and its purpose anymore. It's your own now. And so basically, Shion just like, I'm not sure how to feel. I do feel like a burden has been casted off my life. Jay, you did so much. Risk your life just to... I don't know what to say, or what should I even do with this freedom? And Jay's just like, whatever you want now. Unburdened. And so she looks at Jay just like, Jay. And so essentially, as she looked at him, they kind of both looked at each other. Shion kind of saw not only the concern on Jay's face when it comes down to her, but also felt his power. Like he gained something she never thought was possible. And now Shion is also feeling a new rush of emotions, kind of hitting her that she never really connected before. Because look at her now, she kind of feeling something a little bit that she would honestly write off as her body being weird, but now she kind of feels it. And so basically Shion just like, you, and so Jay's just like, Shion? And so and he's just like, are you finally listening to your body? Or is it still acting out again? And so Shion just like, I think this is what I feel. And so Jay's just like, you look cuter like this. So, this is how you actually feel when you're expressing yourself. And so Jay's just like, it's okay. You can be honest now. What do you really feel? And so Shion just like, every time I look at you, I feel like staying with you. If I'm with you, I feel more free than I ever been. I'm maybe out of line, but please stay with me. And so Jay's just like, are you proposing to me? And so Shion just like, yes. And so Jay's just like, here I thought that was my job to do that. And so Shion just like, I apologize. And Jay's just like, it's okay. And yeah, I'll marry you too, Shion. If it's really how you feel, then I'll be more than happy to make you one of the happiest girls in the world. You deserve it after all this time. And so Shion started crying, not tears of pain and sorrow, but for the first time in her actual whole life, true joy and happiness. For the first time, she felt freedom. Freedom of the possibility of she can be whatever the hell she wants to be. This is the first time she felt like this in her entire life, and at the end of it, she ultimately smiled. So we get into the final act of everything. Thank goodness my voice is dying. But when it comes down to it though, we see Jay and Shion went back to the hotel, except now Jay and Shion are sharing a room alone. And after explaining to what happened with Koneko, and explaining to Koneko what happened, Koneko just says, alright, we're gonna just put this whole celebration of our beach vacation off to the side. I'll go sleep in like Lamine and Farina's room for the night while you guys kind of do what you're gonna do. And essentially, Jay just like, are you sure you want to do this? After all the stuff you went through? And so Shion just like I said before, it doesn't bother me. I can handle it. Besides, there is one tradition from the past I remember, where newlyweds would strip themselves in front of each other and gaze at their bodies. And so Jay's like, oh. And so Shion just like, I think it's to show and accept their partner for all they are. And so Shion just like, so will you bear witness to me, my body? And so Jay's like, you don't have to force yourself if you don't want to. And so Shion just like, no, I can do this. So please, see what I really am. And so Shion slowly took off her kimono and revealed her breasts to him and saw the piercings that she even had. She took everything off completely exposed herself to him, which you will not be able to see here, unfortunately. But when it comes down to it, you can just see everything that you really want to see. And so Shion just like, it's your turn. And so Jay's like, okay. And so even he starts to, slowly strip off his clothes and reveal everything, bearing it to Shion. And so they kind of just stare at each other for a little minute. And so Jay just like, you look really adorable, Shion. And so Shion was like, I heard about how you handled the others, so I asked you to do the same. And so Jay just like, does it scare you about what we're gonna do? And so Shion just like, a little. But I want you to make me yours. I was scared at the thought of someone touching me like this again. But I realized what kind of person you are. You make me less fearful. So no matter what we do right now, I trust and give myself to you. And so Jay's just like, okay, then I'll try to take it easy with you. And so basically they went at it. Jay went to his Shota form actually and tried to, get it in with Shion. And she felt as tight as if she never had it before. It was like having her first time, but for real this time. She was nervous at it, but Jay was incredibly gentle with her when it comes down to it. He came in her, and after that, they basically just went to sleep for the night after that session, essentially. And then the next day came through, and the sun came up, and Shion stood in the doorway looking at the sky, relieved as if the whole night that she'd been through, like a long nightmare, has finally came to a bright end. And for once in her life, Shion was actually happy. And that is the end of the story right here, my boys. So yes, a lot of things went down. A lot of crazy stuff was shown, and a lot of things was dropped on lore type of things. On some map hat stuff. Hold on, I gotta say it right. There was a lot of lore here. So when it comes down to it, it was impressive that we had to drop this much stuff. But honestly, like I said before, there was not a lot of places where I could end this shit where it didn't feel shitty, right? Take any of the previous acts before and think about it. If I ended there, would it feel satisfying? Not really, honestly. So that's why I had to end it here, and why this bitch is long as hell. If you did like it and you did enjoy, be sure to subscribe. Hey, be sure to like the damn video. Be sure to watch the previous episodes before, because there's a lot that goes into this before this long ass one. And yeah, hopefully it's something that you will continue to support. And if you'd like to support me on an even further level, Kofi, Cash App, and throwing gifts, if you'd like to give me a new phone so we get a better, audio type of thing going, then definitely help me out there. That's also in the description. And until this, boy Jay, sign off. Have a say.